Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival.
There is brand new music from Art of Anarchy called Vilified and Rock and Metal Revival right here. And with us today is founding member and guitarist Bumblefoot. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
It's good. It's great to have you on the show. And, we got this upcoming album coming out called There Be Anarchy, which is the first new album from you guys from in quite a while. Since the release of The Madness, a lot has happened since then. Tell us about the lineup changes and what's been going on since that last release.
Yeah, it has been such... it should really be some kind of documentary movie about this band. I always say that if there was one, the guys in Anvil would watch it and cry.
Jeez, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, this band has really gone through some interesting stuff. So let me give you a quick, long back history. Okay, so this goes back to about 25 years ago when I had a studio in the boroughs of New York City, and these two teenage kids would come in, these twin brothers, John and Vince Voda. One played guitar, the other played drums, and I would record their band, and I knew their parents, and they were just sweet, wonderful people, and stayed friends with them over the years. Then in 2011, John and Vince, they hit me up. They said, we want to make the album we never got to make. We want to make our dream album. Our idea is, well, we wrote 10 songs, just the music, the guitar and the drums too. Want to come in the studio and record it. You lay some guitar in there too if you want. And we're going to get different singers to sing on different songs. Like, cool. So they came in, and then after we recorded everything, started reaching out to singers. And the first person to say they would do it was Scott Weiland. And he did a song called Till the Dust Is Gone. He wrote it, came up with the melodies, the lyrics, everything. We just gave him music, said, do what you want. And it was just phenomenal. And that's the one that we did a video for as well. So then his manager said to us, look, why don't we make this a band? Scott will do the whole album, and we'll make this legit. This will be a band. Of course.
Yeah. Scott Weiland, yeah.
So we signed like a band agreement, here's the royalty split, here's how we're going to promote, this is a band, and blah, blah, blah. And in just a month, he did the entire album. He wrote for all the songs and gave me all the tracks, and I'm like the producer for all the albums, so I do the mixing and everything. So that was it. We were a band. John Moyer from Disturbed joined on bass, and boom, we're a band. And then in 2015, when we put out the album, to our surprise, very shortly after announcing the existence of the band and the album and everything that was coming, Scott Weiland just kind of quit publicly. Said, I wish these guys luck finding a new singer. And I was like, what? And at that point, we were right in the middle of negotiating with the record label, and it was, you could say it was a bit of a problem. So things didn't work out, obviously. We did put out the album, and sadly, very sadly, it ended up being the last thing that Scott Weiland released. He passed away shortly after. And we were figuring out what our next, actions will be. Do we hang it up, or do we get another singer? Then our manager said, I spoke to somebody that you may want to meet up with as singer number 2. And it was another Scott. And we ended up putting out an album in 2017 and kind of went through, I won't give everybody dirt and nasty stuff, but there were complications. And difficulties and challenges. And so it wasn't going to work out with him either. And we did at least get the album out. We did get to do a couple of shows. And then it's like, okay, what do we do from here? Okay, let's put this thing on hold for a while. So now it's 2019, and John gets this all I can call it is a mystery illness. He got sick, and it wasn't COVID, but his whole body was slowly shutting down, and he was dying.
Whoa.
Wow.
He was going blind. He had to have family members stay with him while he slept because he would choke in the middle of the night.
Oh,
Wow.
And he had no immune system. They couldn't figure out what it was, and it took months for doctors to eventually diagnose it and treat him aggressively. And even getting the treatment was a challenge because the hospitals were flooded with COVID patients, and if he caught it in the state that he was in, it would have killed him. So he was just in the darkest place, just living with this slow death. And all he could really do, all he had the energy to do, is lie in bed with a guitar, watch movies. One of the movies that he would watch over and over that just gave him a great mental distraction from it all was the Joker movie that had recently come out. So he would watch the Joker movie over and over with a guitar in his hand and just playing. And after doing that every day, you're almost writing songs. You're starting to repeat the parts that you're just noodling, and next thing you know, it's you're writing songs to this movie. When he was well enough to get out of bed and was okay, by the second half of 2020, John and Vince, they said, hey, I got a song that I want to record. And it was what he wrote while watching that movie, which became Vilified. And that was how album 3 began. And that's how it started up again, was through near death and just playing to this movie over and over. The opening scene of that movie is the opening music of the song Vilified, that guitar riff that became the verse. So out of that's how the songwriting began again. And every Friday they would come over and we would just write something together. They would have an idea. I would have an idea. We would record by 10 o'clock that night. We'd have a finished song musically. If you watch the video, the stairs that we were playing on, that long staircase, that is the same location from the movie where there's that scene where the Joker, he's doing this whole dance on the stairs and everything. So we actually filmed the band playing on those same stairs.
Nice.
And when you listen to the song and you hear the narration of the voice saying different, I think that there might be a radio edit that doesn't have everything in it, but if you listen to the album version, there's lots of news broadcasts, and those were real news broadcasts that we recorded. And it was when the news was they're just trying to create this ridiculous hysteria, and saying that it's going to lead to real world violence, and there's going to be copycat people doing all kinds of crazy stuff, which of course didn't happen. And what we did is we took those news broadcasts, and then we had Jeff Tate, that we know from Queensryche and Mindcrime, and he resaid them all.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
So if you listen back, a lot of people don't realize it and they don't notice it.
I had no idea.
But that's Jeff Tate doing all of those news broadcasts in the song.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things about it. And that's also why there's so many Joker references throughout the song, because it's almost like an ode to this personal experience, the darkest one he ever had in his life, where he nearly died. And that's how it all began. So while we were recording all of these songs, Jeff Scott Soto, the singer of Sons of Apollo that I was in a band with, he said to me, you should have just had me sing all this time. You wouldn't have had all these problems, all this self-destruction, all this. And I was like, I know. Yeah, you're right. So I mentioned it to the Voter Brothers. I said, Soto said that if you wanted a third singer, he's in. That quick. It was just absolutely. If he wants in, he's the guy. Because we know that we can rely on him. He's a great guy, and things will work out. And they did. Every song that we came up with, we were just showing the music, boom, he would just come up with the melodies, the lyrics, and record them and send me the tracks, and another song done. So we had more than enough for this album. Then we got to just choose which ones do we want to use for this album. And that's it. So did the album, and then John Moyer, he chose not to continue. He's got disturbed. Everything is good. So we need a new bass player. So Jeff said, well, my bassist, Tony Dickinson. The guy's great. We both do Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He's in my Soto band. He's on Mike Mangini's new album. Great. No-brainer. He's an incredible player and a wonderful guy. So he grabbed all the stuff and just laid down his bass, and that's it. And then started talking to our old friend Dale Rage Restaghini, who has been our video director since the beginning. A wonderful guy. So started shooting videos, and he suggested we talk to the company Pavement, who is the record label that does Plush and a lot of great bands. So spoke to them, and boom, now we got a team. We got everybody. We got a great booking agent that's looking into any possible opportunities for 2024. And finally, we have a team where all the band members want the same thing, and the label is supportive, and the booking agent is, just everything finally is right with this.
That's
and
cool.
It took a long time getting to that place.
Man, I bet. Sounds like it. Yeah.
From listening to Vilified, I have to ask you, is Let There Be Anarchy, is it a concept album, or is there, different themes throughout the other songs?
I wouldn't say it's a concept album, but there's definitely a continuous thread of dark themes with it all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a darker album than the last one, that's for sure. Musically, it's closer to the first album when, everything was just unfiltered and we could just write how we write.
Now, I told you before we started the interview that, I'm a guitar player, and I watched I got the, what do you call it, jam play, and you did your videos. Man, dude, you just made me, I wanted to just throw all these guitars away after the way. I mean, how did you get involved with that? And are you going to do any more? I mean, you got like 20 videos up there that just, 20 guitars I want to throw away.
Oh, man. When did I do that? Had to be about 10 years ago I did that. So,
okay.
Yeah, did 24 different guitar lessons on that thing.
Something like that. Yeah.
And, so I think they just reached out and asked me and said, hey, you want to do this? I said, yeah.
Okay.
So I remember I flew out to them and went into their video studio and just spent, I forget how many days of just playing and recording and
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, what I hear on record is nothing compared to what you can really do sometimes. It's just like, wow.
I think that's pretty often with musicians. Like, you do what's right for the song. You don't do what's right for complete showing off.
Yeah.
But that's what Sons of Apollo was for. That's where we all push the limits of our craziness.
We've always enjoyed all of the projects that you've been in, Guns N' Roses, Sons of Apollo, the new project, Art of Anarchy. Of all these projects you've been involved with, what's the most satisfying for you as a guitarist?
I mean, it's fun to just, get all noodly and let that out. So Sons of Apollo was definitely fun with that. Art of Anarchy, it's just fun to not do that and just rock out more and do less math. What else? There's my own stuff, which is pretty vocal heavy. There's, each one has something the other doesn't, so it's hard to say. I guess the key in life is to have enough diversity so that you don't get bored and that you have something for everything.
Okay.
If you just want an easy acoustic night, doing acoustic shows, doing that. If you just want to play some good rock songs, that. If you want to just challenge yourself technically, something for that.
All right.
Nice. Now, I was listening to the Sons of Anarchy live album with the Psycho Symphony thing. And,
we played
dude,
in Plovdiv, Bulgaria.
Man,
Apollo,
I tell
an
you,
ancient Roman amphitheater.
that was awesome. And I ended up buying the video and all that, getting the DVD and all that of it too. But your Diary of a Madman just is jaw-dropping. I mean, I've never heard it done live by anybody. And with the orchestra and with the symphony and all that, and the vocals, choir at the end and everything, it was just like, dude, how long did it take to put something like that together? I mean, you guys did a bunch of covers. I mean, like Kashmir and all these other ones. But yeah, that one, I'm a big Randy Rhoads fan, and the solo just, you nailed it so perfectly. It just, another guitar went out the window.
Yeah, that was definitely some planning that went into that one, and I don't even remember how long we were planning it for, but we had a guy that was working out all the orchestrations for the orchestra out there, and he was taking care of that, and then we rehearsed with the orchestra for like a day or two, and got everything nailed, and anything that needed adjusting, and the conductor would tweak it, and then just making sure the gear was right, but I think there was a lot of preparation, but I think more of the preparation was for everyone else, like writing out the orchestrations for the songs, and them working on it before we got there, and same with the choir and all of that. The lighting, the setting up all the video stuff. Like the band, we just go and play.
Yeah.
And as long as we did our homework and we have our parts down, and as a band should. But as far as the production, I should say, to put it in less words, the production was a lot.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
It was an amazing performance. I have to ask, Ron, I mean, for all the years that you've played live on stage and played with bands, and you were telling us some of the things you've went through with Art of Anarchy, you've had to have a couple Spinal Tap moments over the years. Do you have one you can tell us?
Yeah. My biggest Spinal Tap moment was definitely Rock in Rio in Brazil in 2011. And it was pouring rain, and the rain was like a few inches high on the stage, like they were sweeping it up. It was almost as high as like the top of our pedal boards. I remember pyro was misfiring, and like it was that wet that it was just crazy. And I remember trying to play on the fretless guitar, and my fingers were so pruned up, my skin was so and I couldn't. It was like trying to play on a wet balloon. It was like trying to push through it all, everything soaked. But there was this lovely girl in the front row that had a Star Wars Stormtrooper helmet that she was holding, and I said, "Yeah, give me the helmet." And I figured I would put it on and play with it on for a bit. So I got the helmet and I put it on my head, and as soon as it touched my cheeks, it's like it fused to it, and it was just like, and because I guess my skin, like everything was so wet. And I remember just saying, and as soon as I said the S curse, like everything just fogged up, and that was like, all right, I have this helmet that is going to take a little bit of effort to remove. And that's not good when you're trying to play guitar in a song.
Yeah.
And I can't see anything. It's completely fogged up. And the iconic solo that I had to play was about to come up, and it was like the opening of the show and everything. And it's like, oh, God, this is not going to work out well. So if I remember right, I managed to get the helmet up at least like over my eyes and keep it there. And then I think I nodded like, good. and it flopped right back down. I'm like, okay. And so it got to one point, like halfway through the solo, where I just had to stop playing and pull this helmet back so I could see what I was doing. And those few seconds that I stopped playing, the next day I got hundreds of furious emails from Brazilians saying how I like destroyed their life and like death threats and like all this stuff. And to this day, 12 years later, I still, every once in a while, someone will send me an email with a screenshot of me wearing that helmet, just saying like, you know, JA, dot, 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 you know, they're ha ha ha. And yeah, so that is absolutely a Spinal Tap moment.
Exactly. Wow. Hey, now the album is scheduled for release in February. I guess our question is there plans for physical copies? And what we're looking for is vinyl.
Yes. CDs, vinyl, absolutely.
Nice.
And are you going to be able
to hear you dig vinyl?
Yes,
nice.
We dig vinyl. And are we going to be able to pre-order it at all? Do you know?
Yes. In fact, I think it can already be pre-ordered. Let me double check on the social mediums, and found it. September 30th. Okay, pre-order CD, vinyl, plus shirt. Now, head over to Pavement Music and put in your orders.
All right.
So it is pavementmusic.com/campaign/art-of-anarchy/. And for orders shipping outside U.S. Canada, please contact pavementorders@gmail.com.
We got to get these.
Good.
Yeah.
We got to get some vinyl.
Definitely. Now, what I really want to know about the new album, are there any tracks that are going to feature the cowbell?
Oh, that's a good question.
Those are always the best ones.
Because you can never have too much cowbell.
No.
More cowbell.
Yeah, definitely.
There might be cowbell on it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right now. I am going to find the tracks, like the actual recording files and everything. Okay, Art of Anarchy, 803. And I am just going to put in a file search, cowbell.
There you go.
There we go.
And let's see. If it's on any of the songs, if there is cowbell, no items match your search. There's no cowbell.
You got to re-record it. Come on, go back.
I think, we need to just delete all the files and start writing.
Just start over. Everything based off of the cowbell.
Yeah, we need to start with the cowbell and then build a song around it.
Yeah.
That's really how it should be. Like, to start off with, you know,
Tink.
I mean, there are songs that have done that. If I name a cowbell song, all right, ready? Dunk, 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 dunk. You know that is Honky Tonk Woman.
Yeah.
Starts off with it.
Mississippi Queen.
So that's a song that's built around the cowbell.
Yeah.
There are songs built around the cowbell, and I think what Art of Anarchy needs, I don't know how the rest of the band will feel about pulling the album and starting over, but
I just use it in the live shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all right, we'll save it for live.
Yeah,
Maybe instead of a snare drum, we'll just have a cowbell.
There you go.
There you go, yeah. Well,
People will love that.
they'll love, especially in Wisconsin. They'll dig it. Yeah.
Definitely.
It'll be a march going on. So the album comes out in February, after the first of the year, maybe hitting the road, summertime maybe?
That is our hope, if not sooner.
Okay.
Booking Agent is looking into it, seeing if we can get anything.
All right.
See what's available as far as headlining, opening, anything.
All right, well, great. Well, we want to thank you for your time today. It was great talking to you. We love what we've heard. Vilified's awesome, and
Very cool.
Looking forward to the album coming out. And you're always welcome to come back here on Rock and Metal Revival.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.